We really welcome you, Tony Sperandeo. Tony is from Kehilat HaMein congregation, local Messianic congregation, comprised mostly of Jewish and also Gentile born-again believers in Yeshua, located in the city of Kfar Saba, located about 25 kilometers northeast of Tel Aviv. Just some of the, just before I hand over to Tony, some of the outreaches and works that the congregation do include creativity and healing center, teaching, Soldiers Fund, India Lanka Ministries, intercession, humanitarian and needy fund, sanctity of life, and home cell groups. I'm sure there's a lot more that we haven't mentioned there. But Tony, it's a blessing to see you, and we just look forward to hearing what the Lord's put on your heart and for us to pray about. So welcome, dear brother. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. This is wonderful to be here and to be part of a PFI group. That PFI, and we know for years and years and years. It's good to see all faces here and faithful supporters and wonderful. I'm very glad to be here with you and to share news, and I'll try to share good news. Even in a time of war, the Lord is with us. And as we read in the book of Ephesians, we are called to strengthen ourselves in the Lord. So we believe that we will not be strengthened ourselves through the media, through the pagan media of the world, neither from politicians or neither from even our own military, which we bless and we thank the Lord for, but we put our trust in the Lord, and the only way to strengthen ourselves is in the Lord. So we believe that we need to grow closer to Him in this time, in these evil times, the times of wars and rumors of wars. We're just ending now the 12 days of war with Iran, which was probably the most terrible war that ever happened. Because the missiles that Iran had and sent against us were very, very huge missiles, ballistic missiles, which destroyed a lot of homes. We had 5,000 homes destroyed, 20,000 people who lost their homes and who are displaced right now. So I just want you first. Prayer need is to pray for all those displaced people who lost their homes suddenly. There are some missiles who fell on some cities and they destroy like the whole street, with one missile, the whole street was destroyed. God had mercy upon us. He protected us, and it's really a miracle. There's, from those missiles only, I say only, but it's 28 people who lost their lives in this 12 days war. But it shows the grace and the mercy of God. There could have been thousands of the people, and there's always, there's always miracles. I mean, one of our member of our congregation, she's working in the kindergarten, and she's working with children, and in the city of Petah Tikva, it's close to where we are. And she would just mention the whole school was completely destroyed, but the missile came at 3 o'clock in the morning. There was no children there. And so the children were spared. Basically, if it would have happened in the morning or when all the children would have been there, we're talking about 100 children who are going there. So there's a lot of stories like that of miracles, of the grace of God. And so we want to give thanks to the Lord that is protecting us. He neither sleep, neither slumber, the keeper of Israel. This war it was the most difficult war because every 3 times a day we had to run to bomb shelter, and bomb shelter is basically a place that you get protected from those type of missiles. And it's basically there is sirens in the middle of the night, and you are waking up in the middle of the night, and then you have to find a bomb shelter. You have maybe like sometime 1 minute or 2 minutes, and basically you don't know where it's gonna fall, and there's a lot of prayer. It brings the people to pray. And in the city of Kfar Saba, which is a little bit north of Tel Aviv, but Tel Aviv was really was really hit. We had a lot of houses that were destroyed. We have three daughters who live in Tel Aviv, so they came to stay with us for those 12 days, with their husbands and the little children, our grandchildren, and even the dog stayed with us. So it was really an experience that really makes you face life and death situation. And I think the whole of the nation of Israel is basically in shock and trauma. I mean, people are shock, trauma. They're very tired. Now with the ceasefire, people are able to rest and sleep. Now everybody is back to work because the economy was shut down for 2 weeks. So now people are going back to work, but yet you can sense the tension and the heaviness upon the people of Israel, and there's a real insecurity that is there because we don't know how long the ceasefire will last. It can be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, maybe 1 year, but we know that it's only the ceasefire. It's not peace, because we know that Iran is always vowing to destroy Israel. In Tehran there is the clock, the clock that was destroyed, sand clock, a destruction of Israel, and so in the main square, the main square is called Palestine Square, in Tehran, and it's like 2030, the destruction of Israel, and so everybody's seeing that. So it was destroyed by some of our planes, and also the prison where all the political prisoners were there, and many Christians, born again Christians who were imprisoned there, got set free. The Lord had mercy also upon the Christians. Now you know that in Iran, this is the fastest growing church in the world. And so there are a lot of underground churches there, and so we are praying for their salvation. And I know they've been praying for us, and I've been in relationship with some of them. We know that they've been praying that there will be a supernatural intervention that they will bring the change of the regime. So it's in the Lord's hands, but we are praying for that. Another need for prayer that I want to bring before you is that because of this war, there's the Iranian government came against the Jewish people. There are Jewish people who live in Iran. People say there's a few thousand of them, maybe up to 10,000, but there was 850 of them that were brought to the police station, and their house was they had searched in their house, and they destroyed many of their equipment and took their phones, and they basically are guilty now to be agent of Israel, even though that most of them are very faithful to Iranian. They've been in Iran for the last 2,700 years. But pray for the Jewish people now that are in Iran, that the Lord will protect them. This is very important, and our heart is going with them and for them. And pray also for the born again Christians, because the regime is really going against them now, because almost this war brought the fall down of the regime. I mean, many leaders of the mullahs, the Iranian regime, they become very weak, politically. But now we have a ceasefire. We didn't choose the ceasefire. I think it was just it's beyond our understanding. Why, as we were progressing, in destroying all the weapons, nuclear weapons, there was a stop suddenly, and this is all the foreign powers, and this is the politics, but God is in control, and the Lord is giving us his peace. We're happy that we can just breathe and get our strength back and pray. But this is not the end of the war, and so we don't know for how long we're going to be there. Another prayer which is very dear to our heart, and I thank our sister who prayed in the beginning is for the hostages. We still have about 54 hostages that needs to be released. We know that some of them are already dead, and but we need even their bodies so we can bury the dead and mourn, and so it's very important in Israel that for every person will be brought back, and those who are alive will be released as soon as possible. So keep praying. I mean, there are families, they are blood of our blood, we grow so close to them because we pray every day for them. So pray for the release of the hostages, and pray for the healing of the Lord for those who mourn in Zion. We have so many people who've lost loved ones. We have so many soldiers. Just this month, we lost 20 soldiers, 20 young people who were killed this month, the month of June. And that the Lord will minister to the heart of those who've lost loved ones. And so some of the ministries that the Lord led us to do is because we have a center of healing through creativity. This is basically heart therapy. So people who have into shock and trauma, and they can come to us, and then we minister to them the love of the Lord, and they can express themselves. If they cannot do it with words, they can do it through creativity. So they do drawing or all kinds of different workshops to lead them and to guide them, and so they can express themselves and come to emotional healing, and also up to spiritual healing, because some of them are hearing about the Lord and coming to faith in Yeshua. So this is a wonderful ministry. You can pray for that God will open more doors. And we've been invited to come with our workshop into some of the kibbutzes close to the Gaza Strip, so that we are in relationship with some kibbutzes, and so we are invited already there. It's through personal relationship. It's like the cousin of one of our member of the congregation, and so we are going. I'm going there on Wednesday. I'm going to be with another team of people, and we are basically bringing the ministry of the Lord, and what the Lord is saying in Isaiah chapter 61. The Spirit of the Lord is upon us, and He has anointed us to bring good news to the afflicted, to bind the brokenhearted. That's what we are called to do. To proclaim liberty to the captives. This is for the hostages, and freedom to the prisoners. To proclaim the favorable year of the Lord, and a day of vengeance to our God. To comfort all those who mourn, grant them and give them a garland of praise instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, the mantle of praise instead of a spirit of fainting, a spirit of heaviness. It's a depression. So they will be called hawks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that He may be glorified. So I believe this ministry is really a live ministry, and what the Lord has used some of us who are involved in worship and prayer and intercession. We go to the places where bloodshed happen. We go to Reim, we go to Sderot, we go to all the places where there was bloodshed, and a lot of people lost their life. And we are proclaiming life, we're proclaiming hope, and we're praying that God will restore the hope of the people of Israel. This is a very important prayer item I want to bring to you, as people are walking under the cloud of depression, and fear. There's a lot of fear, what's going to happen to us, fear of death, fear of the future. Everything is unknown. The economy is going down because there's always people cannot work the way they want, and so pray that God will restore hope, will restore faith, and will reveal Himself to the people of Israel. It says all Israel will be saved, but at the moment, the number of believers in Yeshua is very small. We're just talking about only a few thousand, maybe 20,000 people, believers in Israel. But we are a population of 8 millions, and but I want to give also a wonderful report to you, because maybe these things that you don't hear so much every day. but because we're in relationship, we have a ministry of reconciliation with Arab believers, Arab believers in Yeshua. So we get some reports about what's happening in Gaza, and I just want to report to you that the Lord is really moving in Gaza. They have got some people who came to faith, Muslim people, MBBs, Muslim background believers who have come to faith in Yeshua in the last year. So I want to give a good report and to say that, to tell you that the Lord is working among the Muslims in Gaza. There is hope in Gaza also. Everybody is talking what's going to happen in Gaza, and well, we know what the Lord wants. He wants to save the people from Gaza. He wants to, he wants us to pray for our enemies and to bring the gospel to them. So there are probably about 2,000 believers there, and some of them are MBBs, Muslim believers. Some of them are like more traditional Christians, but God has protected them. They've been protected. Their buildings have been protected. They have water well, and they have food, and God has provided for them. So I just want to give a good report that God is also interested in saving Israel, but also saving the Muslim people, the Arab people. He loves the Arab people. Another good report I want to bring to you is God is touching minorities in Syria, and we've been able to be involved a little bit with the Druze, the Druze people from Syria, that they were threatened, by by the new government of Syria, and we were able just to pray for them and minister to their family members. It's amazing what God is doing. This is a door of opportunity. I want to tell you. I mean, I've been 45 years in the ministry in Israel, and I can tell you, this is the first time I experienced so much openness to bring the gospel, both to Jewish people, to Arab people, to Druze people. It's amazing. In the time of war, the Lord has been really softening the hearts of the people, and that was one of our prayers when missiles fell on our heads. We prayed, Lord, let every missile who is falling on our head just break down the wall of the hearts of stone so the heart of flesh can be experienced. And this is what I believe the Lord is doing in Israel. I mean, of course, we don't see, thousands of people coming, but the work, the seeds of the gospel, the seed of life is entering slowly, time to time. More and more people know about Messianic believers, Jews who believe in Yeshua. We've got a lot of, religious are really seeking now. So we are in the time of war. God is still the Prince of Peace. And so I want to encourage you and give a good report. Please continue to pray. Your prayers are not in vain. And the first prayer is to pray for the salvation of the Jewish people, but also of our Arab neighbors, that they will come to faith. And so instead of becoming our enemies, they will become our brothers. And so this is the wisdom of the kingdom of God, that Muslims will come to faith in Yeshua. This is our prayers.